Welcome to the Smart Entrepreneur's Guide to Social Networking, how any business owner can get more customers without spending a ton of cash. I'm your host, Greg Pitstick, and today we're going to be talking about how to use these various tools and techniques and how to come up with a program. You see, everyone comes to me again and says, hey, how should I be using Facebook? How should I be using Twitter? How should I be using a blog? And then the list goes on and on of these various tools and techniques that they have out there. And they say, how should I be using them? I go, well, it all depends. What do you want to accomplish? What do you want to build? What you want to accomplish is your marketing strategy. Your marketing strategy will define across these various tools, Facebook, Twitter, blogging, landing pages, all the things you can do out there, how you should be using them. In fact, what you may find is some tools are of no value to you. You shouldn't even focus on them. Don't put them inside of your portfolio. Other tools are you're going to rely heavily on. But you first have to figure out what your marketing strategy is. And there's a simple way to do it. Any entrepreneur can come up with a marketing strategy by following 5 simple steps. And I'm going to give you a high-level overview of those 5 steps here today, and you'll really understand how it all fits together. It's not that difficult. Step number 1, you need to figure out who you are and who your customer is. I know that sounds lofty, but you'd be surprised at how few people can tell me what their business is all about in 5 seconds or less. Really hard to do. So what you're going to do is you're first going to say, what is your niche? What is your product or service that you have out there and what makes it unique? You can't service all people. So if you are a dentist, maybe it is a cosmetic dentist, maybe it's a certain geography. Are you a remodeler? What sort of remodeler are you? Do you do kitchens and baths? Is it high end? Do you specialize in making entertaining kitchens? Do you specialize in basements? Do you specialize in a geography? What is it that you specialize in? So that is your niche. Working with your niche is who is your target customer. You need to, in step 1, be able to see your target customer in your mind's eye, which means you have to be able to picture them. What do they look like? Where do they live? What are they worried about? What are they out there searching on? Because they're not searching on you. They're not worried about you. They're worried about themselves. So you got to get in their mind and say, what am I, the customer, worried about? And you need to list those things out, their fears, their thoughts. And so those are very important items to work with in combination of your niche. Now, by the way, before continuing off of here, I want you to take a reality check. Is this a profitable exercise you're doing? Is your niche and your target work together to actually make money? If not, you may want to come back and readdress these items to make sure they're profitable. Once you figure out your niche and your target, the next part of step 1 is figuring out what makes you different. If you don't have a unique selling proposition, something that makes you different from all your competitors, if you're a Me Too company, you will then compete on price. Who wants to compete on price? Who can out Walmart Walmart? Let me tell you, who wins when it competes on price? It's the poorest entrepreneur, the one that lives in the cheapest house, drives the cheapest car, and doesn't take vacation. That is a person who wins because they charge the least amount. That doesn't want to be a good business. It's not what I'd want to be in. Is it what you want to be in? Didn't think so. So you got to figure out what makes you different from your competitors. So step 1, you define your niche, you figure out your target client and what they think about, what their fears are. And people say, well, how on earth do I do that? How do I figure out what my clients want? Well, you listen, you ask, you talk, you do a little bit of research. You get on Twitter and figure out what they're talking about. You get on groups, see what they're talking about. You call them. You do a survey of past clients. You sit there and you listen to what your clients are after. After you come up with step 1, step 2 then is in the middle here. What are you going to talk about? What that is dependent upon is what are they interested in? So now that you know your client, what do they want and what are you going to offer them? Would it be invaluable for your customer to have a video that they could watch on how to structure their remodeling project? Would it be interesting for your client to get a paper on veneers and what you should look out for in teeth? By the way, I knocked out my teeth when I was young, so I'm sensitive to that because I actually have veneers and some fake teeth here. And I had no idea how to get the best look on that, and so I went out there looking for information, and the dentist that provided me this information is actually the one that I went to and used and spent over 10 grand on these teeth. So what are you going to talk about? What are you going to offer your clients? And in step 2, what channel are you going to go through? Because you see, some people or some businesses can talk directly to their customer. Other businesses actually have to go through someone who's a referral. So a good piece of their business may be someone referring them business, in which case you have to use in your strategy both of those people, the person referring you and the ultimate person. If I take the case of a home inspector gets most of their business through referral of a real estate agent. So how are they going to help that real estate agent? What are they going to offer them, that real estate agent, so that in turn that they refer the home buyer to the home inspector? So you have to have all the people in your channel, in your chain, thought through. What are you going to talk about? What are you going to offer? Now that you know what you want to offer, what you want to talk about, now's the time to get nitty-gritty and come up with some marketing campaigns. Step 3 is coming up with attraction marketing campaigns. Attraction marketing campaigns are all about getting new customers. How do you attract new customers to contact your business and request information, have them get to call you? So instead of forcing your name out there in the market, how do you get them to call you in a cost-effective manner? Once you come up with these campaigns, and it's relatively easy to do, you then say, well, geez, how am I going to build a relationship with them? That's step 4, relationship development. The cheapest way to get a new customer is actually continue to talk to your old customers, because they will refer you, they will come back to you, they will use you again, and it costs a lot less to build a relationship and keep a relationship than it does to attract someone for the first time. Unfortunately, most businesses are focused 90% on getting new customers and 10% or none even on maintaining the relationships with the people they have. You have to be balanced. You need new customers in, and you need to maintain your relationship with the customers you have. So at this step and into step 4, you probably have 4 or 5 campaigns for attracting new customers, and you should have 4 or 5 campaigns for building relationship development. Now you can lay all these campaigns on top of each other and say, how do they use the various tools? How are they using Facebook? How are they using blogging? How are they using Twitter? So that you can now come up with your blueprint that shows how all these tools fit together. And off of this blueprint, which is step 5, you then come up with a marketing calendar. And why do I say a calendar? It's because you can't do everything at once. You need to schedule out over weeks, over time, which pieces you're going to put in place in order to accomplish your marketing goals. So there you have it. 5 simple, easy steps that you can follow to come up with your social marketing strategy. And if you follow these and put a little bit of effort into it, your social marketing campaigns and your marketing campaigns in general will be very successful, make you a lot more money, get more customers without spending a ton of cash.